Becomes a very tough job to try and pick the best available players, given everything that has gone on with the season and stuff. So right now it is magnificent, and the boys, you have to understand how much effort and work goes in. We've got the coach Ben Gollings down there. Ah, I see, fabulous. This is Inura being ever so conscientious. That's a good shot, mate.
Absolute fab, isn't it, Sean?
Can I say what this is?
Yeah, I was too impatient with the rugby. I lost track in the middle when I saw the boats.
Yes, well, this is actually the best story ever for Sri Lanka in terms of powerboating. Sri Lanka is just about to launch on the 28th of this month the official Sri Lanka Powerboat Association, which is Formula One racing for water. Powerboating, and we are now the newest member of that Powerboating Association, the UIM, which is the world body. Sri Lanka is the 54th member of the association, which means Formula One in Sri Lanka. And you see these boats, a beautiful sight. There's 54 venues around the world, and we are the newest venue. Bolgada has been designated as the race venue. It was picked up instead. In fact, they were looking, and they preferred Bolgada and Sri Lanka to India.
Sean, do you know why I'm turning these pages, showing things off, promoting it?
I know why you're doing that, but the fact of the matter is...
Because he's assured me a seat somewhere in the front rows of this.
Well, that's a wonderful thing.
Yeah.
One, it puts Sri Lanka on the biggest map in the world. Two, we have Formula racing in Sri Lanka, which is Formula powerboat racing. Two F1 boats, two Formula boats arrived in Sri Lanka this morning. And they will be on show at the Bere, Cinnamon Lakeside, which is the host hotel. And what we're trying to do is now get membership so people can join, and we will launch the membership drive. Plus, on the 28th, which is Sunday, here you go, you can see some visuals as well from the Powerboat Association, this is F1 racing around the world. It is phenomenal. It's a very proud day for us in Sri Lanka, the Lanka Powerboat Association, and we will now look to race. We'll look at a Nations Cup sometime 2013. So this is the business, mate.
This is the absolute business, Sean. You know, I'm a bit speechless looking at this and trying to imagine it at Bolgada in Sri Lanka, here at home.
Well, we've got on the Bera Lake, we're actually do a little bit of an exhibition.
Are we going to do that today, Sean?
Not today, on the 28th. So
the boat's up, man. Come on.
We've got the engines being kitted out. It's unbelievable, and the wonderful thing for everybody in Sri Lanka, apart from trying to get, what we want to do is try and get clubs around Sri Lanka. So we have powerboat clubs. We want to educate and encourage. That's what UIM does, which is they will set up and encourage and talk about safety, all of the conditions. I mean, it is a very dangerous sport, as you can see, but it's a magnificent world-class story. Wow. And it's now here in Sri Lanka. These boats will be actually live on the Bera Lake, just opposite the Cinnamon Lakeside. And we're going to just show you what it looks like and feels like.
Look at it go.
There you go. I mean, you know, these are wonderful pace and speed and
there we go, the danger,
lethal spills and thrills. But it's all about passion, and that's what we want to try and promote. Sri Lanka as a destination becomes wonderful, and of course we give people the opportunity to set up clubs around Sri Lanka, wherever. We got more water here than anywhere else. It's wonderful. And the wonderful thing for the public is it's free. There's never a gate collection, so you just come along and watch and enjoy the thrills and these gladiators and these drivers, you know. So UIM will undertake to try and train drivers. We have 2 drivers arriving with the boats on the 28th. So you know, watch out, watch the press for details. And you heard it here on Rise and Shine.
You know what, Sean? Recently I had a guy talk to me, and he said, you know when Sean's talking sport? I said, how? When he just says gladiators.
Somebody has been clocking that live, yes. I do use that word because, you know, you got to be dedicated. You know, and the men and women drivers for F1, it's an adrenaline rush that you can't really describe unless you've been in the boat.
Sean, have you been in the boat yet?
Not yet, not here. And I'm just, I can't say I'm excited. I'm going to say I'm beyond that. The words fail you because you can see it. I mean, you know, it's such a blood rush. But for Sri Lanka, it is a wonderful story. And we were talking about hosting and being a hub for sport. His Excellency the President has mentioned that we'd like to be a hub for sport in the world. And that's what we are. I mean, you know, when you see this, you just go, whoa, absolutely delightful.
Expecting this to begin soon, Shan. 28 probably we'll have the first
Waiting.
exhibition.
That's it. 28 is a launch. We've got a VVIP launch for companies, for corporates. And the idea is not just for the public. The hotel is going to put on a huge F1 brunch. So you can come, enjoy music, see the boat on show, and then grab an eyeful, because we're going to try and do some stuff in the water with the boat itself. And then we're going to try and talk to the corporates to see if we can encourage them to actually invest in a team so they can buy a boat, color it up. That's your team. So it's like, you know, as good as buying a racehorse, you're buying an F1 boat. So you need to invest, you know, same for her.
I might, Shan. I just might.
There's nothing to stop you, mate. There's nothing to stop
I think you just gave me incentive early morning.
Well, this country is magnificent, you know, really. I mean, I'm absolutely delighted that Sri Lanka is really moving forward, and all of us.
Definitely.
I mean, you know, we have a responsibility when we're on television to talk about sport and, you know, the thrills and spills, the you know, the agony of losing, as we saw in that World Cup, or the ecstasy of winning, as we saw when, you know, Sri Lanka did win a World Cup. You saw Federer and Murray, and how greatness will eventually, the cycle will move, and then the next will step in, the next gladiator. And that's what sport is all about. It's about history, it's about work, hard work and pain and luck that you make for yourself. So now Sri Lanka is on this big world map, and we need to now, you know, keep going. The north and east is open. And you know, I can't think of a prouder person, and then every Sri Lankan who believes in this country's future. It's tough, it's not easy, we have issues, but it's part of the cycle of life, and if you can't deal with those issues and be positive about a future for our country, because we've been through absolutely everything, and sport does that. I mean, you saw the Murali Cup, the Harmony Cup, which Murali is in Singapore for. And these kids were picked from the north and the east, from all of the schools, and they actually they reflected the World Cup. They had 12 teams and 8 teams, girls teams as well. So, and they picked a team from all of that to go to Singapore and play against some kids there. It's the belief that sport is such a universal language, and it's a great healer, because once you play sport, everything is equal.
There we go. Shan, we're going to take a small break from the gladiators and the sport in Sri Lanka. We're going to give